On. Welcome everybody to What's NXT for, let's see here, there we go. For August 12th, 2020. And the elephant in the room, yes, this is the final episode of What's NXT. For the longest time, this was a one-man production, but it has always been a two-man show. And I no longer have a partner to do the show with. Jerry will no longer be with Aftermatch Wrestling. And if you'd like to know what happened, mind your business. It's kind of a sore subject. It just happened, man. How dare you? I joke, but yeah, this is What's NXT. Yeah, I guess that's retro now. So I've got Skype set up, and if anybody in the chat room would like to call in and help review some of these matches, you are more than welcome to. I believe my Skype is stephanrosborne@gmail.com. So if you want to check that out. Otherwise, I guess I will be reviewing these matches by my lonesome. And I apologize if that is super boring, but that's why I never tried to do it by myself, is because it's super boring. We start off the show with a video package of Pat McAfee on commentary last week. He only got 2 matches, but it almost seems like half of the show was Pat McAfee, because they showed this, and then, of course, the collision between him and Adam Cole that ended up costing Undisputed Era the Tag Championship match. But then we also got a video pack, or a video cap, of Karrion Kross last week, who addressed Keith Lee and had Danny Burch, was it Danny Burch or Oney Lorcan? It was one or the other, in that headlock, and then had cleaned out the room, and everybody in the room, there was like 4 people down. And this leads into our opening match, Karrion Kross versus Danny Burch. And of course, he's got Scarlett with him, and y'all know me, love me some Scarlett, and this would be a good match to watch if you too love you some Scarlett. She had an amazing outfit. The biggest note for this whole match was Karrion Kross essentially no-selling all of Danny Burch's moves. He hits an enziguri and a missile dropkick off the middle rope, no-sell. He hits a German, no-sell. He gets some offense on, but again, Karrion Kross is shrugging it all off, and he pulls him down into a crossface, which at one point, Karrion Kross is just like staring wide-eyed and completely not... Oh, I guess there's still nobody in the chat room. Not in pain at all, and he like manages to reverse the crossface and puts him into his Doomsday Saito, which he picks him up and does it again. And at this point, Danny Burch can't even stand up by himself, so he picks him up in a cross jacket, and Burch passes out, and Karrion Kross wins. Now this is where Keith Lee comes out. And he is carrying with him a clipboard, and we all know what's in the clipboard. It's one of those puffy clipboards, you know, it's got a cover and it's got material. Anyway, Karrion Kross and Scarlett both get out of the ring, so they head for Dodge, and Keith Lee gets in the ring, and he's like, see, I knew it. You keep proving me right about you, that you keep wanting this match, and I keep trying to give you this match and try and get you in this ring, and you keep running away. He says, but I went to William Regal, and I begged, and I told him I will not even touch him until TakeOver. Just give me this match. And Regal signed it, Keith Lee signed it, and the contract just needs Karrion Kross. So he throws the contract down, and Scarlett comes down and gets it. By now, Kross is on the stage. She takes it to him. I don't even think he looks at it. Like, he signs it, but in a very weird way, and I can't imagine signing an actual signature that way, just saying. She takes it from him, takes it back into the ring, slides it to Keith Lee, and they're being so lengthy and dramatic about this, I'm wondering what the fuck's going to happen. He picks down and grabs it. At first, I thought somehow they were going to, like, do some cut editing, and he'd bend down and grab the contract, and when he stands back up, there's Kross right behind him, and could attack him without Keith Lee hitting back, because Keith Lee said he wouldn't attack Kross. Anyway, that's not what happens. He opens the contract to see the script scratch that Karrion Kross wrote in it, only to get a fireball to the fucking eyes. And this takes us into commercial. Through commercial, we get a picture-in-picture just of Keith Lee being escorted by a bunch of refs and some EMTs to the back, out to an ambulance. And just as he leaves out of the ambulance, just so happens Undisputed Era arrives. Cole, Fish, Strong, and O'Reilly. They all come in, and we go off into commercial. Or, no, we go off into a Drake Maverick versus Killian Dane match, which comes out of nowhere. Like, where did this come from? Like, who set this up? Why even? Drake Maverick is in the 205 Live, the 205, the Cruiserweight division. Why would he want to have a match with Killian Dane? Like, is Dane trying to beat him and get favor in the Cruiserweight division? Like, it doesn't make sense. Anyway. That's good that it doesn't make sense. This match ends no contest because at some point, Undisputed Era come out and attack both of them. I think somewhere before that, I want to mention Beth Phoenix actually says that Keith Lee is on his way to a hospital. So that's big, to say the word hospital on WWE television. So UE come out. We get a super kick to Drake, knocking him off the apron. And then a high-low and a last shot to Killian Dane. Adam Cole calls out Pat McAfee. At this point, we're all supposed to already know that there's a match happening between the two of them at TakeOver. And he says, meanwhile, he wants to tell Pat that he's not special. He kicked Cole while Cole's hands were held behind his back and he was down on that table. But Cole is the longest reigning NXT champion, and he's going to find out at TakeOver that there's no going back. See, he calls him out for next week. He dares him to show up and come to the ring and face him face to face. And that's when he says McAfee's going to realize his mistake. So we get the call out. And then they leave. So, video recap of Legado del Fantasma attacking Breezango last week, because this is leading into a match after commercial. But in the meantime, we get a video package, a promo for Kushida, who is in tonight's triple threat match. He says it's time for the Kushida to taste gold. I disagree. I heavily disagree. But let's move into Tyler Breeze versus Santos Escobar. So Escobar comes out, and at first Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza flank him. But then he tells him, get to the back. Get out of here. I don't need you. I can handle this on my own. He goes to the ring, and we have a pretty good match. At one point, before commercial, Escobar tackles Tyler's knee outside and then drops him face first on the apron. And then I think he hits him with something else. We go to commercial. We come back, and he's just working him over. And Breeze is sporting some serious suction cup bruises on his back. I think it's one of those massage therapy things where they heat up a glass and put it on your back, and it sucks the skin into it. And anyway, I think he had that done, because I can't imagine where the fuck else that came from. Escobar ends up, at the end of the match, telegraphing a back body drop. So he gets a kick to the face and then a supermodel kick. And right before Tyler Breeze goes to pin him, or try to pin him, out comes Delgado, or whatever. Out comes Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde. Just long enough to distract him, so he turns around into a Phantom Driver. 1, 2, 3. Escobar wins, of course. So I guess before they can go to attack Breeze post-match, Fandango comes out, and he has got an arm in a sling, and in the other arm, he has got a big stick. It's what I can call it, like a broom handle or a mop handle, but without the mop or the broom. And he runs to the ring, and he ends up taking out Wilde and Mendoza, but he turns around into, I think it was a high knee from Escobar, and then he gets beat down. And then to the rescue comes Skeet, or Isaiah Swerve Scott. So Swerve comes out, he clears house, and he even gets a shot in on Mendoza, and so they leave. And this is going to lead to a match. Let's just say that now. This is going to lead to a match. We get a video promo for Dakota Kai. She says she's figured out how to beat Io Shirai. She outsmarted the so-called genius, and she's in her head. So she doesn't need any friends, associates, or insurance policies. I love how she says this, under rumors that she will no longer be with Raquel Gonzalez. In fact, Raquel Gonzalez might have been called up to the main roster. Other than that, she says at TakeOver 30, she's going to beat Io Shirai and become the NXT champion. Blah, blah, blah. Of course. Or the NXT Women's champion. You know, whatever the difference is. We get a video promo for Ridge Holland. This is going to hype him for next week, I believe. He says the hype is real. He gets a second chance match next week against Johnny Gargano, and he's going to win that, of course. Everybody believes they're going to win that. We get Indy Hartwell. Comes out, and she's about to face Mia Yim, who just got back from, again, the hospital. She got back from the hospital. She says Keith Lee's going to be okay. She's got a match. She heads out to the match, and Indy Hartwell attempts to use her possible grief against her. Like, she uses Keith Lee's taunt, and it doesn't work. You know, Mia Yim's going to win, but it gets her a little bit of time on top. There was way too much time with the sleeper hold, but whatevs. In the end, Yim rolls through this odd armbar. Like, she rolls through a move, and instead of trying to pin her, she puts her leg over her head, like, because she's got her in, like, a sit-out position, like, after a sit-out, and then arm over the head, but then she's stretching the arm, or her leg over their head. She stretches the arm back, and then she pulls up vertically, and then that's when she started tapping. It was very odd looking. I don't know what to call it. I have no point of reference to give you a name for it, but it was okay. I liked it. Yim gets the victory. So we get a video promo for Finn Balor. He says, everybody tune in to see the Prince, or tunes in, I guess, to see the Prince. He says, whoever is left over after tonight will be easy pickings for Balor next week. So his second chance match will be against the guy that doesn't lose tonight in the triple threat, which is, by the way, the main event. We get some video of Triple H on Get Up on ESPN sometime during the week, and he sets out a challenge to Pat McAfee on behalf of Adam Cole to show up at TakeOver 30 and have a match. And McAfee gets on there and accepts the challenge. So at TakeOver 30, so this is where we get the official announcement. If you know you weren't paying attention during the week, which apparently I was not. So like I got the match being official when Cole said it. Just saying. After this, Pat McAfee tweets agreeing to meet Adam Cole next week in the ring. So, yeah, a little bit weird timeline with this, but whatever, it's fine. Our next match, this starts the next hour. Damian Priest, like, literally, like, it's 9 o'clock and Damian Priest's music hits. He comes out versus Bronson Reed. And we got this set up last week where they met backstage outside by the car, somebody's car. They were having an ego match, and it spilled over into an actual match. This was kind of fun. Let's see, at one point, Priest tries a reversed waist lock. Or tries to reverse a waist lock. So, Reed's got him in a waist lock, and he goes to go around him. And Reed just puts up his arm and drives him down with a DDT. And Priest rolls outside, gets his wits back, and this is where he's like, okay, you've come to play. Just so much back and forth in this match. At one point, Reed catches an attempted heel kick, like a spinning heel kick from Priest. He catches him and then does this roll throw into a, what is it? I should really keep up with where I'm at. Fall away slam. So, like, it was a fall away slam, but he started him the wrong way, so he rolled him up into the right way just to finish with a fall away slam. And it was pretty cool looking. Like, it looked genuinely like his own original move, like nobody would ever do that, and if he can pull that off with anybody, I think he should keep it. He follows it with a senton, but only gets a near fall. This is where Priest hits a move that I was like, okay, everybody's debuting something tonight. He jumps off the middle rope over towards the corner where he's got a little more spring, and turns back into a flipping senton into a standing Reed. He beats on him a little more, picks him up, hits with the broken arrow, only gets a near fall. Reed kicks out. And then Priest hits this crazy roundhouse and then tries that spring senton again, but Reed grabs him in midair and finishes with a power slam. And then he goes up top, goes for that diving splash immediately, that tsunami. He wants to end the match, but he misses, sorta. Like, Priest rolls out of the way, but he still kind of catches a couple of knees to the back. Very heavy knees to the back. But he looks like he just shrugs it off like, well, what else am I supposed to do? I was supposed to roll clear of it, so whatever. He gets up, and he hits him. He goes for the reckoning, but Reed just, like, turns around in it, yanks him down by his feet, and he flapjack pins him for a quick 1, 2, 3. And Bronson Reed wins. So I think maybe Bronson Reed is not going to be winning that ladder match. Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, he gets the 1, 2, 3. Bronson Reed with the victory. We move on to a video promo from Io Shirai. She says the message was received by Dakota Kai when she kicked her in the face up on the stage when she didn't know it was coming. Turned around. It was a pretty brutal kick. And they know it because they've played the shit out of it. But anyway, she says no one knew who Kai was until she double-crossed Tegan Knox. I wouldn't say that's completely true, but I would say when she did that and went heel, her stock soared at that point. So, I mean, kudos to Kai still yet, but I see how it's kind of a burn. She says Kai's afraid of Shayna Baszler, but Io Shirai is not. And much like, and they showed this old footage of Kai versus Shayna Baszler where she was like literally terrified of this bitch. So instead, she says after this takeover, it's going to be the same, fallout. It's going to be Kai not winning the title. And yeah, of course Shayna Baszler beat Dakota Kai, but I think this Dakota Kai is a little different. She's going to put up a good fight with Io Shirai. I still don't think she's going to win. Let's move on. We get a video promo for Cameron Grimes. He's by a lake. For some reason. He says he's always in the right place at the right time. And he's going to get into that North American Championship ladder match. He's going to take that title and take it to the moon. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I kind of really love this insufferable Cameron Grimes. I don't know why. Let's move on. And I forgot to declare a winner here. Oh my god. But of course. Kacy Catanzaro and Caden Carter, who they're hyping up as this team to like look out for, and I'm like, have they ever tagged more than maybe one time? I'm not so sure. Again, if anybody wants to join the show, you can call in on Skype. I've got it set up to take. I'll just get rid of this. I believe it's at stephanrosborne@gmail.com. So catch me there. You're welcome to call in maybe for the main event. Who knows? Let's see. My notes here for Mercedes Martinez is that she has much fewer lasers in her glacier-like entrance. Other than that, it seems like Aaliyah and Robert Stone are really just there for her. And it seems like Aaliyah's okay with it. She knows that Mercedes Martinez is the power of the group. And she's the reason they're going to be winning matches. And she shows it when they get in the ring. And she's just kind of hiding behind her, kind of like a scared puppy. Anyway. Let's see. Before the match, Robert Stone gets on the microphone and he says that the Robert Stone brand is in fuego. And if you don't know what that means, it means it's on fire. And the future could include Kacy Catanzaro. He says, you are American Ninja Warrior. You would be great with our group, he said, but you hang out with losers. And by this he means Caden Carter. And he says you need to ditch the losers. And this pisses off Catanzaro, who attacks him. And then attacks Mercedes Martinez, like gets her in I think it was a leg scissors, sends her out of the ring, and this is how the match starts. So the good girls start out on top for a little bit, but of course, let's see, Kacy Catanzaro, and okay, so they do have this one move I want to mention. Her and Caden Carter, I call them the KCs because they're both initial KC. Anyway, they hit this double dragon style, and I don't know if you know what I mean. During the 90s movie Double Dragon, there was this move that the brothers were trying to do that they couldn't pull off until they truly were like working together. And that's where they were holding on to each other to like do these kicks. And very similar to that into, I think it was Aaliyah in the corner. So that was really cool. Eventually though, they get caught and Mercedes Martinez catches, I think it was, let's see, was it Catanzaro? Oh, no, on to Carter. Okay, so she catches her in a wheelbarrow, picks her up, and Aaliyah runs over and catches her with a cutter. And we get a near fall that was only broken up by Catanzaro kicking, I think it was Martinez going for the fall. Let's see. We come back from commercial, and Robert Stonebrand is working over Carter, and eventually she finally gets the hot tag to Casey Catanzaro, who trips Martinez face first into the corner, and she does this front flip capo kick to her back, which was kind of cool. They mentioned it on commentary. I think we've seen her do it before, but she's getting more precise with it. And I'm glad they're landing these crazy kicks to the back now instead of the head, because good grief, Xia Li. Anyway, she tries to go for some more offense, but Martinez catches her trying to go for a Rana. Picks her up out of the power bomb, drops her into the air raid crash, drops her on the mat. 1, 2, 3. Mercedes, her name is so hard to say. Mercedes Martinez picks up the victory on Casey Catanzaro. So, after match, this was the fun because Rhea Ripley comes out real slow, gets to the stage, takes off her jacket, and then after Aaliyah and Robert Stone ditch out of the ring, now she's trying to get in the ring and hustle it up with Mercedes Martinez. And after she gets her into the corner, Aaliyah attacks her from behind. So they start working over Ripley, and then Shotzi Blackheart, a wild Shotzi Blackheart appears and takes out both Martinez and Aaliyah, sends them packing, and for some reason Shotzi and Ripley are standing tall in the ring. So there you go. We get a outside of NXT and Full Sail University promo. We are again in Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae's house. This is after dinner with Gargano and LeRae and her dog. So they show the plates, the meal's done, and Candice is sitting on the couch with her dog. She's telling her dog, I guess, a bedtime story where the dragon attacks the fairy and gets into her business. And the dragon is Tegan Nox, and she's the fairy, and she's going to do something about Tegan Nox, and blah, blah, blah. And then Johnny Gargano says, well, he's the White Knight. K-N-I-G-H-T. Anyway, he's the White Knight. And what does he say? He's going to ride in and take the title. And Priest and Reed aren't at the level of Gargano. And Holland, who he's getting next week, is strong, but he's not Gargano. He's going to make history next time he climbs a ladder. Because at this point, he's climbed a ladder and he's fixing a light inside their home. But next time he climbs a ladder, he's going to be two-time North American champion. And LeRae says that he fixed the house. And Johnny Gargano says, we're going to fix NXT. I thought that was pretty cool. Goes right along with their little gimmick here. Now, before we round out the show, we get some Thatch's Thatch Can. I believe this is round 4. And he's only shown us 2 or 3 moves total. And sometimes he shows us 2. In this case, he is showing us a half crab, a single leg Boston crab, which he used, I believe, 2 weeks ago to win his match. And he shows how by holding on to it and trapping the Achilles heel, he could turn around and lock in a knee bar. And he says, you always have to learn to adapt. And meanwhile, the guy that he's got the knee bar on is just like flailing, tapping like he's having a bad time. And this is Thatcher. Sure, more of that. So next week, we get Pat McAfee in the ring with Adam Cole. I don't know if the rest of Undisputed Era is going to be there. I feel like it, unity-wise, they really should, but it's not needed, really. I mean, it's Adam Cole. Like, they shouldn't need to be there. But anyway, we get that. We get a 6-man tag match, the one I alluded to earlier. Legado del Fantasma versus Swerve Scott and Breezango. And we get 2 second chance matches for the NXT North American Championship ladder match, where one of them is going to be Johnny Gargano versus Ridge Holland. We know that. The other one's going to be Finn Balor versus the guy tonight that does not get beat. So, we have 3 guys tonight, and one of them we don't even know who it is. So, who knows? Who the fuck's it going to be? We get an update on Keith Lee very briefly. They don't actually say he's doing any better, but he says that at TakeOver, Karrion Kross is a dead man. So at least he can speak. We know he can speak. How his eyes are doing, no update, but they said you can keep up with WWE.com for further details. So at this point, we'll see if there's further details. Check on it if you'd like. Hey, fucking 6 people in the chat room. Hell yeah. Thanks you guys for joining me. If you have any questions or have any comments about the show, leave them down here because we are on to the main event. We've got Kushida versus Cameron Grimes versus Velveteen motherfucking Dream. The return of the Dream. And the couch. So the couch is back. And somehow it's just on the stage. Anyway, he comes out, and this match is a little fast, kind of fun, kind of basic, though, for, you know, the beginning of this kind of triple threat match, leading into commercial. We come back. This is where they're putting on a show. I do like, though, how most of the picture-in-picture through the commercial is Cameron Grimes versus Kushida, where somehow Dream is out of the ring, and I'm like, could this be maybe a little ring rust that Dream is trying to overcome? Anyway, about halfway through the match, we see a palm strike by Kushida, and then a pair of super kicks, and suddenly everybody's down, and so we get a breakdown. No, we don't even get a breakdown. I think Kushida rolls out of the ring, and then we get some shit between Grimes and Velveteen Dream. In the end, let's see. Grimes rakes Dream's eyes outside, and Kushida goes up top and hits him with a senton to Dream. I guess this is right before commercial. We come back, and Kushida is... Or no, that can't be. Anyway, Kushida gets an armbar on Grimes, and he rolls him out just in time to catch Dream coming off the top rope, which was probably a Dream Maker. Like, he was... or Purple Dream Maker, which is the elbow. Purple Rainmaker. There it is. The elbow off the top rope, but he catches it into an armbar there, and then Dream counters that, and it looks like he's going to hit a Dream Valley Driver, but Kushida rolls again and counters that back into that hoverboard lock, and while he's got the hoverboard lock on Velveteen Dream, Cameron Grimes hits fucking Kushida with a cave-in, and then rolls Dream out of the ring, goes into the pinfall, 1, 2, 3, Cameron Grimes, as I predicted and hoped and prayed, is moving on to the ladder match for the North American Championship at TakeOver 30. And holy shit. So he goes to leave. His job is done here. But after the match is over, we've still got Dream in the ring and Kushida. And for some reason, Dream decides to attack Kushida. So it's like he's going full on heel here. And then he poses in the corner, turns around, and there's Finn Balor. And there's the pose off. And there's the end of the main event. And here on What's NXT season finale, yes, folks, you heard it right, the season finale, the series finale. No more What's NXT. If I start doing reviews of shows, it'll be a completely different thing. So this is the last one. If you'd like to get on here and rate the main event, I'm going to rate it still with the General's 5-star rating system. Out of 5 stars, this main event, I don't think it was great. I think it had a great ending. So I'm going to give it 3 3/4 just because I don't feel like the match as a whole was great, but the ending really was. And then I really dug the pose down between Finn Balor, who for the last time I guess I'll use as seen here, for Finn Balor and the non-loser Velveteen Dream for their one-on-one match. Yes, next week it will be Finn Balor versus Velveteen Dream for the last spot, probably. I bet that'll be the main event, for the last spot in the North American Championship ladder match. So there you go. That was NXT. The Natural Nate Spain says he's going to give it 3 1/4 out of 5. So I guess he didn't like the ending as much as I did. But that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and give it a fairly high. I enjoyed the show, too. I'm not keen on giving an extra quarter off the back of a great show, but I'll leave the match as high as a 3 3/4. Anybody else want to rate it? Any of the other 5 people in the chat room before we go? I guess there's plugs to do. Nobody up here to plug themselves, but I can plug me and the channel. Channel will stay the same. Aftermatch Wrestling was my baby, so I'm going to go ahead and keep Aftermatch Wrestling. If I change the channel, I have to change the name, I think. But anyway, find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan, STEFAN, or just at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for fucking retarded. So you can also find the channel on social media at Aftermatch Rest on Twitter, where we take the ling out of wrestling, whatever the fuck that means, and on Aftermatch_wrestling on Instagram. And you can find me on Instagram at osborne.stefan. And I believe you can find us on Aftermatch Wrestling on Facebook still for now. I don't know how all the logistics are going to end up panning out when it's all said and done. So again, I apologize to all the fans for the turmoil or whatever. Things are the way they are, and I will try to deal with them as best I can for the show and for the fans. So hopefully I will have a different show coming up, one where it's okay for me to do it by myself without somebody on the screen or co-hosting, and I'll just review that way for the meantime. In the meantime, thank you for joining me. I'm the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. We will see you not in